So the Whatever podcast lately has been going viral for a lot of clips that they've been having. They're kind of a fresh and fit style show where they have a bunch of girls on. They talk about, anti-feminist talking points and let the girls respond with their really stupid talking points that they have. The very indoctrinated, brainwashed type responses that they have. Just like the Woody style, like you pull the string in the back of them and then they just say the same thing that mainstream media regurgitates over and over. And then, it's just very easy to refute their arguments. People say, like, I think I saw Sydney Watson come out and say that she thinks that they're curated to have stupid people on. I'm telling you, they're not. It's the same thing with Fresh and Fit. I've met the manager for Fresh and Fit. I've had lunch with him. Like, I've talked to him. I've asked him straight up, look, dude, you try to get stupid girls on purpose. He says, no, it would be harder for them to curate having girls who don't have these talking points, who aren't brainwashed, who don't have low IQs. It would be much harder to curate those than it would be to curate these girls that they get. This is just random girls picked from Instagram that they bring on the show who want to come on the show, and they don't curate them whatsoever. They don't screen them for having certain IQ levels. But anyway, Michael Knowles went on the Whatever podcast and destroyed these girls. The Daily Wire tweeted this out. If you don't know, Michael Knowles works for the Daily Wire. He's a content creator for them. And they tweeted out a couple of clips of Michael Knowles just absolutely destroying these girls. And really, they're just destroying themselves. And Michael Knowles is just sitting there agreeing with them. But it's hilarious, man. Let's check out these clips really quick.
So how is me making a claim about like having an abortion and pro-life? Obviously, I feel like if you're having an abortion, it's not a good thing. Like, I don't think it's something that should be romanticized. I don't think it's like a good thing. I feel like it's sad that you even have to got to that point, but it should be there for women.
Why?
If they need it.
If it's not a good thing, then why? No one needs it.
Because there's other things that are not a good thing. Birth control is not a good thing
I
either.
agree.
And
Yeah.
we have it, but
Well,
it's needed. Well, I mean,
having sex before marriage is not a good thing for society, but we have it,
Right,
so
but
you're
we
gonna
shouldn't.
ban it.
But you just shouldn't do
drugs are not a good thing, but we have it. It's good
right.
for
You
the
also
economy.
shouldn't do that. You're making very
But
good arguments for things we shouldn't.
I'm just saying
have.
there's so many things.
So I agree with your viewpoint, and I know you're very passionate about.
You see, I like how he's sitting there. He's not getting angry. He's just like, yeah, you're right. You're totally contradicting yourself, but you're right. I agree with you. I like how he sits here and he understands that he's outclassed them. Obviously, his IQ is much higher than theirs are. So he's not going to get mad. He's not going to get into full on debate mode, but he's just going to make it clear that, this is my stance and you're dumb. Your stance is based in nothing, no fact. Mine is. So, obviously he's going to stand there with confidence and be like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Sex before marriage is a bad thing. I agree that birth control is a bad thing. Thank you for making my point for me.
About your viewpoint.
I'm very passionate
but
about it.
I think we're going a wrong way about the whole conversation. Like,
I agree.
because you're
feel
saying
like
that's just wrong, but
Yeah.
we have to talk about how can we prevent that from happening in the first place. Like, what happens to like a 14-year-old girl who gets raped, for example?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how would we prevent
It's
that? Like,
terrible.
I think we have to
How do you
talk
how do you
about-
prevent rape?
Well, how do we talk about people with like mental issues? Like, we have to talk about.
It's so crazy how they pivot like that. Once they realize that, okay, we've lost this one. We've lost this abortion conversation. Let's pivot over to, I'm going to say grape for the sake of, the video. Let's pivot over to grape. Let's pivot over to mental illness and let's try to make him feel bad. How do we make this guy feel sad? Okay, what about these girls, these 14-year-olds who get raped? What about these mental illnesses that people have? What are we going to do about that? It's just so funny how they pivot so fast because they just know that they've lost that one. Oops, my bad. Let's get over to this feeling stuff instead of facts.
Just bettering, like, are you doing something to better
Yeah,
that?
well, the way to prevent rape would be to get tougher on crime, and it would be to circumscribe certain sexual behaviors, right, and stop. I would say probably stop encouraging a hookup culture that makes it a little bit easier. So you can do all sorts of things like that. And then what do you do for like a young woman who's already pregnant? What do? The crime has already happened. So if she gets an abortion or she doesn't get an abortion, that's not going to change the fact that she was raped.
For example, you can maybe like create a foundation that will.
Yeah, guys, let's all just create a foundation, for example. Let's just have a bunch of money that we throw at these girls who get raped let's be real. It is a very horrible thing that happens, but it's a very small percentage of abortions where girls are getting raped. I'm going to say fruited from now on. Girls are getting fruited. And then, that's the abortion. It's a very small percentage of abortions where girls have been fruited, especially 14-year-old girls who have been fruited. And, it's not that common. It's not as common as mainstream media. It's not as common as these woody talking points that these girls have, that they think it is. It's just not. So to say that, why don't we just create a foundation for giving money out to girls for getting abortions. I think I'm okay. I think I might make a foundation for myself to pay my bills first, you know?
Will help.
Oh, yeah, there are
women
plenty of
to
those.
like fund the baby.
Yeah,
right?
crisis pregnancy
Right.
centers. They're great organizations
but
all
are
over.
they accessible to people?
Yes, everywhere.
Well, that's good. I mean,
I don't
know
if
it's
it's
a hard
accessible
issue.
to like
They totally are.
Okay,
Yes,
you-
tell me
you-
where you are. I'll
Not
get you an
really.
organization.
Yeah, so it's hilarious, and it's very effortless for him. This guy says he makes it look so easy. That's because it is, bro. If anybody with a decently high IQ would go on that show, it's not that hard to just, you know, talk common sense and have these girls contradict themselves to you over and over. But we do have another clip to show you in 1 second. Let's see. Corey says, I have to say that I'm actually impressed by all these young women for having open dialogue and agreeing that abortion shouldn't be this celebrated thing. Hookup culture isn't a good thing. You don't see this much, it seems, from a younger generation. Well, they don't actually have much of a choice, because if they were to try to argue with him with facts and logic and reason, then there would just be no argument to be had, because they're not capable, man. They just know that the mainstream talking points, they just know that mainstream media tells them this is what should be. This is what I feel like it should be. This is what feels right to me. They don't actually know about the facts and logic behind the whole situation. But let's check out the other clip. This one is hilarious as well. The first half is just a viral clip that went on with the they, them pronouns of the transgender stuff. That was hilarious. And then a girl tries to convince Michael Knowles that they, them pronouns are in the Bible. And just she gets obliterated, man. She's just low IQ humans.
I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to say that.
Yes, from a biological woman who doesn't even have any trans friends, that was too fucking far. A man of God who doesn't judge a Christian, yeah.
Yeah, you know what God said? It said He made them man and women. He made them man and women.
He actually said
I just
man,
told you I'm
women,
not
and
gay. I'll
them.
pass on that. Thanks, though.
So
No, he said God,
take
God
your
created
own
man,
advice.
both male and female created he, them.
Stating
them.
biological
So there's
facts
them.
would make
They,
people walk
thems.
off the show.
No, the them refers to the men and the women.
no, but he
man
said
is the
them,
gender
so
neutral
it's
word.
like they, them.
He was referring to both of them.
But he said them, so he's like saying man created men and women.
These girls, these weirdos on the left, are trying to say that the Bible doesn't acknowledge that they, them pronouns exist. That's not what they're trying to say. Obviously, the pronouns of they and them exist, but the Bible never called an individual they, them. Obviously, pronouns they, them are in the Bible, right? Obviously, like, that's part of the English language. Like, that's just part of the English language. It is what it is. But the Bible never called individuals they and them, is what the argument is here.
Women in them. So he
No, he
admitted to
said in the beginning God created man, both male and female created he them.
them.
These are the
Them.
types
So
of
while
man.
other countries
Right.
are planning
Male and
to
female.
invade us with debating they, them, the whole thing.
When you refer to multiple people, you say them, right?
Or you could be referring to they, thems.
It's English.
They, thems don't exist. I hate to break it to
I've
you.
met some. It's crazy. You wouldn't
You've met
believe me.
very confused men and sometimes very confused women.
Yeah, you've met mentally ill people, not even just confused people. You've met mentally ill people. This person says education is doing wonders this era. Lost is an understatement. And honestly, like, podcasts like that is probably the best education out there, because if you go to college, you go to high school, a lot of these teachers are just, you know, they're also indoctrinated. They're just going to give you the same talking points that mainstream media gives you, which is, you know, infecting the kids' minds and everything. But the podcasts like this, where there's open dialogue, where, you know, it's truly the marketplace of ideas, right? You have these girls come on, sometimes guys as well with different podcasts, that are indoctrinated from these colleges, from these universities. They come on and, you know, they get to debate people like Michael Knowles and the other guys who on the whatever podcast, and they have their ideas versus the other people's ideas. And it's the best education, because you can truly see how these ideas hold up versus the opposite side. And it's the best education, because you can see that they just don't hold up. There's just nothing. There's no facts to back them up, no matter what. Is this part of a plot to embarrass females by making us look stupid because it's working? I'm very embarrassed to be classified with these women. Well, you know, I don't think it is a part of a plot. I don't think they're trying to do it. I think they're just bringing girls on and exposing the fact that a lot of them are very indoctrinated. A lot of them are very brainwashed, and they're targeted. You know, mainstream media, the big corporations, they target the brainwashing of women, because they understand that women are the major consumers of the world. You know, they hold like 80% or 90% of the debt in the United States, and, you know, they make up like 90% of the consumer base. They're the main consumers of the world. So if you can brainwash the women, if you can get the women to buy into certain talking points, and you can get them to start buying your products, then you've won. because they're going to buy a shit ton of it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the whole situation. What do you think about the Daily Wire? The Daily Wire's Michael Knowles going on the whatever podcast and absolutely destroying these girls over the Bible, over abortion, all the other stuff that they talked about on these whatever podcast episodes. I think Michael Knowles did a really good job of not getting too angry, but also making his points very clear, standing his ground. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the whole situation. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff.